Hi there, my name is Grace Msalame and we're trying something different with my brand Mali. We want to celebrate success stories of Kenyans and people doing amazing things in society who are inspiring all of us in one way or another. Of course, our first guest had to be the lady who took a chance on me many years ago to market her brand, and now she's built an amazing enterprise. That is Vivo Woman, and our guest is Wandia Gichuru. She happened to buy some Mali watches from us, which is such an honor. So I had, of course, to come myself and do the delivery and have a quick chat. Come with me. Like I said, with me is this special, stunning, super achiever of a woman, Wandia Gichuru. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for coming.
We really, really appreciate supporting Mali and just seeing what you've built. I was just telling you during the break, or rather before we started, on your IG profile, it says you're passionate about dressing Africa.
Yes.
When I first discovered Vivo, you had the one store at the junction. And when I look at you now, your warehouse, the stores, you've been out of Kenya. One, how does it feel to be in the position you're in? And what does it take to get to where you are?
Oh, so first one, what does it feel? I think with any growth, any journey, it's a journey and it's steps. It's like a child, they don't go from being 1 year old to being 18.
Yes.
You see them at every step of the way and you don't notice. So it's only like you haven't seen someone for long, you haven't seen a kid, and that's that thing of like, oh my God, the last time I saw you, you were here and now you're here. And for the parent of that child, they're like, I never noticed because I was with you all the way and I think that's how I feel about Vivo. So I, used one store to, we're now 22, hopefully soon 23.
Well done.
By the end of the year, we want to be 30.
Wow.
And so what I know is, which is your second question, what does it take? And it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of mistakes, a lot of learning, hopefully, because every mistake can just be a mistake, but you can, they say if you lose, don't lose the lesson, and a lot of luck, a lot of faith, a lot of generosity of other people who will mentor you or guide you, or that will share their lessons, share their experiences, so that you don't have to learn, you don't have to go through the whole same thing again. And it takes building a team. And I think, that for me has been when, Mali's your new baby.
It is.
And you're probably doing everything.
Yes.
You're probably, you're probably the one who designed the product. You worked on the product, you work on the marketing, the branding, the story, the customer experience, all of that.
Everything.
But as this grows, which it will, then you'll have to the team's going to have to keep growing. And then you're going to have to start to let go a little bit. And that's hard.
A difficult part,
That's
right?
hard, right? Because you want it just right.
Yeah.
Or
you want to see, you feel like someone else to understand your vision or the mission, so you want to do it yourself, but that's not it.
So you take a lot of time, communicating that, making sure, are we all on the same page? Do we know why we're doing what we're doing? I mean, till 12 years in, I still start very many conversations with, can we first understand the why? Like, okay, we want to create this new product line. Why? So back to
the why.
The IG, my sort of statement, which I say all the time, which is, I want to see Africa dress herself. What do I mean by that? We outsource our dressing. Kenya is probably one of the worst.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at least in West Africa and others, people get a lot of tailored clothes.
That's true.
And Ethiopia, they wear their own traditional clothes. Rwanda. Kenya, we don't really.
We don't have that.
So kitenge is popular, but it's not everyday wear.
Yeah.
For most people, it's something you wear for an occasion. So what do most people wear? We wear clothes that were produced somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whether it's mitumba, whether it's new,
that's true.
It wasn't made for us. So the numbers aren't clear, but from everything I can tell, Kenyans, not even 5% of clothing that Kenyans buy is made in Kenya.
Wow.
There are less than 5% of Kenyans who have ever worn something that was made in Kenya.
Even by a tailor, like you have fabric and they go mix.
Because that's expensive. For many Kenyans, that's expensive, right? So, and then for many other Kenyans who have a lot of money, they're like, oh no, I buy designer brands from outside. And so you know, what I'm loving, even in the 12 years that we've been in the space,
You've seen the growth.
is seeing how many more local brands at all levels, affordable to very high end.
Premium, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you want premium? Here's Kenyan premium.
Fantastic.
You want affordable? Here's Kenyan affordable. You want that sweet spot in the middle?
Okay.
There are many, many options.
So it has grown, right?
And why does it matter? Because this is the fastest growing population in the world. You know, in many parts of the world, actually, they're shrinking.
That's true.
It's an aging population.
Yeah.
And even in Kenya alone, there are 4 million people who aren't working. Like, how are we going to create jobs? We have to, making products locally, building local brands, create so many more jobs. If Mali, I mean, you may or may not be making all of it here, but just the fact that you've created the brand here means that you hire people to design.
That's true.
Your branding, you're you're creating content, you're hiring
There's a whole
the fantastic guy who's
behind the camera.
Who's behind the camera here. You know, if this was Joe Malone, you would just be bringing all their content from outside.
That's true.
And then
the goal is to create.
And then you'd sort of work with a few influencers, and they would showcase it. But I'm like, no, you're creating from scratch.
Yep.
That's exciting.
My father used to say, "Buy Kenya, Jenga Kenya."
Exactly.
And that's how we grow.
Exactly.
That's how we grow. So as we continue, what is the one tip for me who's starting out in Baby Mali?
Yes.
Your biggest lesson in entrepreneurship, what would it be?
Starting out, I would say take small risks. Okay. So don't overstock anything until you've tested. The market will tell you
what they want and what they want.
And you would rather put out something that, you know, you get 50% positive and 50% saying, yeah, I'd love it, but. And the but.
Listen.
Ears wide open.
Don't be offended.
Ears wide open.
Okay.
Happy to hear, because that's feedback. That's data.
I like that.
You know? So they're like, I love this, but do you have it in this other version, or a slightly bigger or slightly smaller? And because it's your brand, you can make those changes. You're not stuck with somebody else's catalog.
That's true.
You're building your catalog. Or if they're saying, I love it, but I don't feel comfortable buying it online. Okay, well, where would you buy it?
I've gotten that feedback,
you see?
actually. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Can I see it before I buy it?
Can I see it? Yeah. How do I see it?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's think about that.
Okay.
I love it, but it's just beyond my price point.
I see.
Okay, well, maybe we should have a slightly lower entry level product. Because once you love a brand and you believe in it, you will
find ways
spend
to
more
get it.
as you earn more.
That's true.
So your first watch might be the more affordable Mali watch, and then there's no reason why your price point is, I've seen it, and it's great value, right? Okay. There's no reason why at some point there can't be a Mali watch that's 100,000, 200,000.
Wow.
Why not?
Why not?
People pay a lot of money.
I know.
But it's the brand.
I know.
It's the brand they're paying for.
That's true.
Because they trust the brand.
I mean, if you look at the brands that inspired our particular Mali watches, they're not cheap.
Yes.
They cost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But that's why our tagline is affordable luxury. We wanted to make it the same quality, or at least something close to that quality, because it's the same watchmakers, same movement. The question was broad. It could be your biggest lesson from failure, and this could be from work, from life, and what that changed in you or taught you. Yeah.
So I guess one of the things is that it's taken me a long time to separate, to not bring all my shit to work. Do you see what I mean? So if I'm stressed, if I'm going through something in my personal life,
it shouldn't affect.
I have the luxury of being the boss here, so no one's going to tell me, like, you're fired. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes that comes with benefits, but it can come with risks, because you're not checking yourself necessarily in the same way you would if you had a boss.
So you have to check yourself.
So you have to check yourself, or you have to realize, number one, it's nobody else's responsibility, or they don't deserve to be dealing with your moods.
They don't.
For something that's totally outside of their life and their control and nothing to do with their
They
performance
don't.
or anything else.
Yeah.
But because I'm whatever. So my stresses, I would take them out at work sometimes.
I see.
The other thing is, so that for me was, I would consider that things
failure
I regret,
Okay.
but things I've also learned from,
Got it.
and things I can now hopefully share and say and remind myself, because I'm still learning. It's not like I never.
It never stops.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
But even those same things that I know I don't want to do, I will sometimes do.
I see.
But hopefully I realize it and I'm like, there you go again. You know, things like how well you listen. Again, when you're the boss, you can be like, okay, yeah, whatever, you know, I hear you, I got it. But actually, did you really? Did you really listen? Did you speak first? Because if you spoke first, the chances are that everyone else will align
According to what?
because you're the boss.
Yeah.
But if you ask the question first and you genuinely want to hear the answers, maybe you'll hear stuff that you haven't even thought of. You know, so just recognizing that there's a power distance between you and whoever you're working with, and that power distance can create fear or, you know, people not feeling that I can challenge, I can question, I can actually share my thoughts because, you know, the boss.
You don't know what
the boss has said, so let's just go with that.
So that's been your learning.
So that's one of the things where I think I wish I'd earlier on just opened it up more and made it easier.
And on the flip side, what has been your lessons from success?
You see, I don't think I've succeeded yet. That's crazy, right? Yeah, because
you've set a bar very high for yourself.
Because we never get there. Do you see what I mean? And that's okay for me. Actually, I like that because I can only get excited about a challenge.
I like that.
Do you see what I mean?
I do.
If my goal was to get, my goal for this year is to get it to 30 stores. But trust me, by the time we're getting towards the end of this year, next year's goal will be bigger and it will be different. And so, as much as we get to the end of the year, I'm like, wow, we succeeded in that goal.
I see.
But have we succeeded in our mission? Have we succeeded in the vision? No. And we probably never will. And that's okay.
I like that.
Like, I'm okay with that because I want the journey to continue to be exciting.
I like that.
And I'm pretty sure that's most people.
I think so.
Do you see what I mean? Like maybe when someone wants to be president and they get there, then they're like, okay, I've arrived. But I think that's a lesson in life. Never arrive.
There should always be a higher goal.
I think it depends what works for you.
Okay.
So I don't like a dream that I never taste. So I'm not one of those people who will just be happy looking at travel books and saying, you know, one day I wish, and one day. And there's some people who be like, I never need to go, but I just like the process of dreaming.
Dreaming about it.
And I'm like, I love dreaming, but I want to start seeing steps. Tiny steps, baby steps.
I like that. Okay.
Another thing that I've only recently learned or heard coined in this way is this whole thing around marginal gains.
All right, tell us.
Which is constantly looking for that additional, those small things you can do to just make it that much better. The detail. It's in the detail. That's what will set Mali apart from other brands. Because
what can you do better?
Sometimes it's tiny things. I mean, this paper could have not had your brand on it.
But because it does,
it's just that, it just gives it that. Do you understand? No one's buying the paper.
I know. But we did all that just for the experience.
For the experience, but it sets it apart. It's the detail. It's like, you may decide, you know what? Let's test this with black and let's test another one with gold. And then get feedback. Or let's test some bags that are black. And, you know, in the beginning, you're constantly just like, let's see what works. Let's see what people respond to. Because you'll never know until you put something in front of a customer what they'll like. You can have an idea and you can have a gut instinct, or you could have, you know, done some sort of market research and imagined it, and But until you actually put it, and then people have, you know, now these are paying customers. These aren't friends.
No.
These aren't family.
And they have feedback.
And they're like, I don't have to buy it, but yeah, I am going to buy it. And this is why I'm buying it.